Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 23 of Sir Kevin Says. Thank you so much for joining. Today's episode features Jay Baldemor. He's a creative visionary, inventor, designer, musician, and serial entrepreneur. His current focus is to revolutionize the musician and jet-setter lifestyle through his company, Gruv Gear, a premium brand rooted in the creative community. He holds multiple patents and has taken over 200 products to market with distribution in over 55 countries. Jay is also an internet veteran with over 21 years experience, notably with Microsoft, GeoCities, and Yahoo before forming his first design and development company, Louder Design. This happens to be the first and hopefully not the last podcast with somebody that has started a company from the ground up, which is really cool because we get to talk about all the insights when it comes to running a company, the meetings, the creative process, as well as maintaining relationships with the artists that they endorse and so on. I happen to own 3 of their backpacks, which are great. I actually use them for the podcast episodes when I commute to the guest's home or studio space. I normally will put all my equipment into the compartments they have, which are awesome. We dove into the creative process, what it takes to maintain a company of this stature, and so much more. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Remember to subscribe down below, turn on notifications, like this video, and share it with your friends and even the people that you do not like. That's what's most important. Actually, do that right now. Please do that right now. Episode 23, here you go. What's up, guys? Welcome to Sir Kevin Says. Today is episode 23 with Jay Baldemor, owner of Gruv Gear, musician, entrepreneur. You got a busy schedule going on with the whole COVID situation and the way you're navigating through all of this. What's new, man? What's going on?
There's just a lot of product development these days, you know, and of course we're adjusting to the times and, you know, being sensitive to what's going on out there. But thankfully, we've been doing well.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Making a lot of new products and
getting
it out the door. That's the goal.
Tell us a little bit about your story, man. Tell us where you came from, how this whole thing started going.
So Gruv Gear, just about Gruv Gear?
Or yourself. You just start with yourself, like where you were born.
How far did we go back?
Man, we can go as far as we need to, man. As far as we need to.
Let's just focus on that. Okay, so for Gruv Gear, this was kind of an accidental business, really, for me, because, you know, I'm a musician, as you mentioned, bass player. I've been playing for, 22 years now or something. But it was the time, mid-2000s, when I needed something to carry my rig. And this is kind of like the public story of how this whole started is I needed something for myself to use because I'm gigging from, restaurants, clubs and bars and things like that. And my stuff was heavy. If you know bass players, they carry like the biggest cabinets and the amps and so on. Not to mention the heavy basses themselves. Yeah. So, I decided, I can't find anything in the market. Make something. And from then, I got together with some friends who are actually product designers. And from then, we created this thing over the next couple of years. This is probably around 2007, 2008. And in 2010, we debuted the product. The product that we didn't know whether people were going to love or not. We liked it. We thought we had something. We didn't know that we had a business actually from it. Yeah. So we introduced it at the 2010 NAMM show, and it blew up from there. I mean, the short of it, you know, distributors were coming. They wanted the product. When can we get this in Europe? Stuff like that.
That's awesome.
So literally with no price list at the show, we're kind of like wondering, how do we do this, So, but, it just played out, over the years, learning the, manufacturing, just learning different aspects of the business that we get to do and expanding it from there to the product lines that we have today. So.
That's awesome. And your family's included in this project too, right? You guys all work together. It's kind of like a family or
It's kind of like a family business. Yeah. It's like my brother-in-law works here, which actually wasn't my brother-in-law in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
So he was just kind of helping out, dating my sister-in-law, and then now they're married.
Nice.
My wife works here now. My wife was a nurse for 18 years.
Wow.
And the Lord told her to transition one year, I think it's 2016, and told her to jump careers. And she did it, and we're better than ever for it.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. And now my son is actually working here now. He's going to school as well, but he's working here and learning the ropes. Yeah, it's great.
When you started making the product, like, did you just focus on, okay, I just want to make something just for bass players, for example? Or was it something that you're like, I want every musician to feel welcomed by what I'm creating?
Initially, like, because it was a product that I needed. So I think my focus was like, for this gear that I had, like, what can I do to carry this? But then I already knew that it was going to work for everything else.
Yeah.
But it was just a matter of like, does it work for me at this point? And I think other bass players will love it.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, other guitar players were loving it, and everyone else just really has to carry gear.
Yeah.
Or even outside of the music industry.
Exactly.
So we've been able to delve into like the hardware industry. Like Home Depot Canada carries our stuff.
Man.
The US, I don't know why it's taking so long. But,
yeah, there's a Home Depot up the street.
It's right there. But I'm talking about like different industries are seeing the use of the products, for the carts. We're talking about the carts right now, which used to be under Gruv Gear. It still is, but the brand, we've done a rebranding back in 2014 to Crane, Krane.
Yep.
And that is to really cater to the broad number of industries we serve now.
Got it.
So instead of, somebody from a Home Depot customer, a DIY person coming to our website and seeing music gear, they're able to see just the carts.
Wow,
that was kind of the thought behind the whole, branching out of Crane into a different company.
And how many countries do you guys serve?
Last I checked is about 55.
55, that's
it's
right.
probably up to 60 plus now.
Wow.
Just because we get interest from different countries. I was going to mention there's a country that just came up that I have never heard of before. Literally wrote to us. It's like, say that one more time. I'm not even going to attempt to say the country, but it's somewhere in the Middle East. Anyhow, like they're a new distributor of ours in that country, and I don't even know how to say it.
Yeah.
But it's up around 60 plus.
Wow,
today.
That's incredible. Did you ever think that this company would reach that magnitude of what it has already?
No. Didn't even think, like I said, that day one that we went to the NAMM show, I had no idea what to expect. All we thought was this was a cool product. I like it. We like it. We think it's useful. I think other people should see it.
Yeah.
That was really our approach going our first trade show ever. So.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about prioritizing in this sense, because,
Sure.
Having a business like this, having to run it full time, how do you manage doing that and being with your family? At first, was it like that? Was it hard? I mean, tell us a little bit of the challenges that you might have faced.
Well, before this company, I was running a web design and development company called Louder Design. So this is literally coming out of corporate. So I was working for Yahoo for 3.5 years or so, and leaving the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, coming back home, my home I consider Southern California, I started my own company called Louder Design. So that was catering to, clients, in the tech industry.
Yeah.
Building websites and everything, designing apps and things like that, back when apps were, were all custom designed. Not you just like download something and use it. So anyhow, so I think my family was used to, me working, at a home office or wherever I need to be from when they were young.
Yeah.
My kids, talking about my kids. My kids are 21 and the other one's turning 20 now. So kind of like throughout their growing up years, they've always seen me, okay, daddy works.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. No.
That is all just a blessing and a curse at the same time because, you hear them saying, it's like, I wish you didn't work so much. But, I definitely try to balance everything. I am a family guy and I love my kids. I want to be 100% part of their lives from the moment they were born. And, I'm not like, oh, well, I got to go to work and you guys fend for yourselves type of thing.
Yeah.
Or my wife takes care of them. No, I'm a full-time dad.
Yeah.
I'm a full-time, I'm going to lead them all the way to adulthood.
Yeah.
And we're real close to that now.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. And
even beyond, that's my goal.
And their invitation, I guess, to come and work with you, was that something natural on their end? Like, hey, we want to go work with Dad? Or was it hey, guys, we need you guys to help out, kind of deal?
Yeah. We've always been open to whatever they wanted to do. We've always encouraged that. It's use your gifts and use the interests that you have. It doesn't have to be my interest or your mom's, But it kind of worked out that my younger son, his name is Jyles, he's wanting to take a business. He's a business major right now.
Okay.
So, what better way to do it was to dive right in and see an actual business functioning.
Right.
And here's the day-to-day you got to deal with. Here are the standards that you got to uphold to. Those kind of things.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of pleasure being able to show him that.
Of course. That's awesome. What about faith? How has that all played a part in this?
Well, we've always been, raised in the church and everything. But that's very different from what you really live out your life. I think you see a lot of people saying it's like, okay, yeah, I go to church and I'm a Christian and so on. But you see the other end of what they're really doing. It's the fruits are not there. I mean, really, we've seen with the fruits that we bear. So I think with how that played into our family already being that and seeking the Lord for guidance and everything, including our company.
Yeah.
That's no exception, and definitely no exception when we don't know what to do next.
Wow.
And it's not only like, oh, we go to God and we go to, we pray for things that we don't know what to do or in desperation. No, you pray from the beginning.
Yeah.
You pray from the beginning for guidance.
Exactly.
Even in the next step you're about to take.
Yeah.
It's not about, oh, Lord, I'm desperate, help me. Where most people or a lot of people that you see out there might only go to God when things are troublesome.
In times of need.
And turmoil and everything.
Yeah.
But no, you ask the Lord for guidance from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because he'll guide your steps.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's probably so many things that you can think of that you've already avoided because you've taken that route.
Yeah.
Of asking God for guidance.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys did a mission trip to Peru last year.
Yes.
Funny enough, my family, my sister who's here today, we're Peruvian.
Oh,
so tell us a little bit about your trip. Did you get to visit Machu Picchu by any chance?
No.
Oh
Man, that was a total mission trip if there ever was one.
Yeah.
We were in the missionary hotels, and like really in the brunt of it, and being able to really serve in the communities in Lima, and that was amazing because this was actually historically was the biggest mission trip in history.
Wow.
10,000 missionaries were sent out. And I get the numbers right, I believe 10,000 were sent out. Oh, no. 5,000 were sent out from overseas, and another 5,000 volunteered from Peru itself. So an overall 10,000 missionaries in one event.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was a week-long thing. And every day we were going out, different things. My wife was part of like the medical part of it. Actually, no, not medical. Sorry, she was going to the schools.
Okay.
And ministering to the kids.
Yeah.
Like we were able to go to public schools. My role there was a camera guy, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
I was in media. I was like, what can I do that, because I've gone on mission trips where I was a musician.
Okay.
But in this part, it's like, I can hold a camera and do video and so on.
Yeah.
So I had my monopod,
Dude, that's cool.
Documenting the event. So
yeah.
I got to see different parts of the missions trip itself. Every day I was somewhere else.
Yeah.
Taking those things leading up to the monumental stadium event that they held. Yeah.
How long was the trip?
It was about 10 days.
I mean, I'm assuming you tried the food, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. We
it?
got to sneak out a little bit and go to a local restaurant. It was great.
Yeah. What's your favorite dish? You have one, or
I think the ceviche.
Oh yes.
I would say ceviche because people were talking it up a lot.
Yes.
I mean, I've had ceviche here, but in Peru
it's amazing.
It was
right?
pretty amazing.
Yeah. I mean, a little biased, but yeah, I love the Peruvian food. Ceviche
it's good. It's
amazing.
Good stuff.
Jay, talk to us a little bit about qualities you think, let's say, a successful businessman should have. What do you think are some of the characteristics one should contain?
Well, I mean, I think the word passion comes to mind.
Yeah,
I think everyone's got to be passionate about what they're doing. Otherwise, they're going to burn out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If they're not in love with what they're doing. So, and I think I don't know, just being diversified and knowing how to approach, what you're doing with there's a I don't know, uniqueness to what you're doing. Mm-hmm. It's like, why do you even exist? Why are you in business? I think business people can ask themselves that. It's like, am I just like, one of the many that's doing this right now, or how do I make myself stand out?
Yeah.
So I think there has to be that. There has to be that element. It's not day in and day out. You do the same thing. You got, obviously family is so important.
Yeah.
Having for myself as a business person, having ministry and still serving in ministry actively is very important.
Yeah.
Because you're able to, because obviously, those days of playing in clubs and restaurants are, you can imagine, are gone for me, at least. I mean, I can choose to do it. But,
of course.
But I don't want to.
Yeah.
This is, here my top priorities are these, my family, my business, and my ministry.
Yeah, that's good.
So being able to balance those three things together and do well in all of them, allows me to to, I guess, take a break from the other one and not be constantly in business, just for example. Or if I did ministry 7 days a week, then I'd probably burn out there as well. So but being able to have those three, and of course family time and my wife,
of course, man.
demands our time together, and we want that. So
how'd you go about coming up with the name
Gruv Gear?
Yeah.
Well, Groov was obviously a play in the spelling of Groov, but my spelling was Gruv, just for the branding sense. And it's because I'm a bass player, and it's about the groove, and drummer is about the groove. So that was that originally. But it was kind of like thinking, I've always been kind of a brand geek.
Got it.
Because I do branding for companies back with Louder Design. I would think of, how to really position their idea and their company the best way possible.
Got it.
So I was doing that for businesses. Now I get to do it for myself.
Yep.
Coming out of being kind of in that service industry of doing it for other people with the marketing and the branding and the look and everything, I get to do that for Gruv Gear.
Yeah.
So when I came up with a name, I was thinking, like, what could work, but not just be so limited to this one product that we have right now.
Exactly.
Is this going to have longevity? So GRUV worked. I look at Google. I look at trademarks. Make sure we're not stepping on anyone.
Yeah.
Make sure it doesn't mean anything bad in foreign languages. That's very important.
It's very true.
That's
very
super
true.
important.
Yeah.
But not really knowing. Like you asked me earlier, did I know that we were going to be in this many countries? No, I didn't. I didn't. But that was always just been kind of my bent. To be able to be as flexible. And I guess, what is the word? I can't think of it right now. But basically, as versatile of a name that it would be, that it can work for, okay, well, we came up with another product line. It still works. It's not just specific to. Because I'll tell you one secret, and no one really knows this, but the original name that I actually had a logo and everything.
Okay.
and you'll know why in a second when I tell you why I didn't choose that name. It had to do with music.
Okay.
Okay, so like Groov was, but I thought Loud, because Louder Design was my other company. It's like, okay, what can I name this thing? So I put Loud Cargo. But it was very specific to the cart.
Yeah.
Loud Cargo is because, you carry music gear. I was like,
Yeah.
After a while, kind of like flip that page already, done.
Get rid of it. Yeah.
Get rid of it. Let's do something else.
That's funny, man.
Yeah. So this is literally in a notebook, and I just kind of sketch it out. And Gruv Gear came about and did a logo. The first logo that did in 2007, before we launched, I already had a logo.
Yeah.
I had a T-shirt that was ironed on.
Nice.
Literally,
there you go.
No idea how to print shirts.
Yeah.
Cut it out and iron it on, because I used to do it for my kids. I would do TV characters for them on their T-shirts.
What are they called? The actual name of it when you latch them onto the shirt?
It's iron, like heat transfer.
Okay.
Heat transfer.
Okay.
Iron on. Yeah, that's really what it is.
Yeah.
So literally, I had a Gruv Gear shirt ironed on, walking around NAMM 2007.
That's funny, man.
You might see pictures online.
If not, I'm gonna look them up. I'll look them up.
No one knows it was ironed on by the way. It was probably peeling up by the end of the day.
That's funny, man.
But it's the same logo. That was my point. It's like 2007, that same logo. It's still the same logo today.
Yeah. And do you meet with your team relatively often to discuss, new endeavors or new direction you want to head or anything like that? Like, how often do you do that?
I mean, we work together every day, and we're such a tight knit team. There's 6 of us now. Right before the pandemic, there were 8 of us, and a couple of guys decided to go pursue their own route. So perfect, it's fine.
Yeah.
And got my son to work with us. So there's about 6 of us right now. We have a 7th member kind of informally in China who's taking care of a lot of our project management.
Yeah.
So I'm on the phone with him and, text with him every day.
Yeah.
But as far as, it depends. Depends on the scope of what we're trying to do. I mean, if it's a big project, we just huddle and do that thing. But we were having, before the pandemic, weekly meetings and checking our goals and checking our what we need to do for the week and seeing how that works out the following week. So that's an ongoing process.
Yes, of course.
For sure.
When I mentioned the word value, what comes to mind for you?
I'm going to answer it very generally. Okay. I mean, I think if you believe in what you're doing and you stick with it, I think you should be confident and you should be satisfied with the value that you're providing, whatever it might be. I think thinking about, let's just go with the business, for example.
Yeah.
as long as I know that we're doing what we set ourselves out to do, we're being unique, we're inventing new things. We're not just, we're not just throwing in a towel and just making commodity stuff.
Yeah.
Our whole goal as a company is to create things that's never been done before.
Yeah.
That's why we got patents under us. We got new inventions and we got innovative stuff that people don't know what to think about. It's like, I don't know if I like it. If I don't like it, it's so new.
Yeah.
Like it's just never been done before.
Yeah.
So as long as we're doing that, I feel good about what we're doing as Gruv Gear.
Good.
As a company.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you detach from that, your original kind of mantra and plan and goal, then you'll just feel like, well, I think that's where it kind of sets in, where you feel like, am I really even valuable anymore to who I'm touching?
Yeah.
So, but I think the same way as an artist, as any artist, musician or otherwise, I mean, I think if they already have a voice and they continue to use it, then I feel like they should always know that the value is there, that they're providing, because the next person's not going to be like them, And then on the other side of that, if they do stop doing that and become like everyone else, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Right? So I think that comes from sticking with what you should be doing. Like, what's your part in this whole thing? What's my role?
Yeah.
It's like evaluating that every so often is very important.
Yeah.
Because you might find yourself, diverting from that, not knowing, and then you go so far down the road without assessing. Self-assessment is important because you go so far down the road, and next thing you know, it's like, oh wow, I veered off so far I didn't even know it. Now I'm just compromised.
That's good. Yeah.
So
obviously, a big part of your company is artist relations. At this point, hundreds of people that you guys haven't signed up for?
I think we've signed on over 300 from the beginning. There are artists that I've never met in my life.
Wow.
It's over email. When we used to go to the Europe show, Music Messe in Germany, we would meet our European artists there. So that was cool, but we haven't gone in 4 years. That whole show changed, that a lot of companies stopped supporting it.
Yeah.
So I hope someday there will be an equal kind of, magnitude of a show over there that we'll be able to connect with those people.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are coming to the NAMM show. So the NAMM show is obviously the once a year here in Anaheim, in the Orange County trade show for international folks to come as well.
Exactly.
So we get to meet them, and catch up and so on.
Yeah.
But it is, thinking about 300 people.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And, nowadays the artists that have been reaching out during this pandemic and everything, we stay connected that way. We're not seeing a lot of people just to keep everyone safe.
Right.
But at the same time, like, I'm having to rethink now what the artist relations side of the company really needs, and how we can best serve the artist as well. Because they're looking something, it goes both ways. It's a two-way street, right?
Yep.
It's not just like, hey, here's some gear, put up some posts, do some marketing for us, and it'll be done. No, we want some longevity.
Exactly.
We want people, I really view our artists as part of our marketing team. And if they don't see that, they're missing the point. You're positioning yourself as an artist with a brand that you really believe, not just because you're going to get discounts or free stuff or whatever it might be,
right?
Or the accolades being listed on your website or social media or whatnot. It's not about that. That's cool too, but it's about how can you, I think you said value, how can you provide value to the company you're working with?
Of course.
And how could we do the same thing? And if we're not doing that, we also want to know that. We also want to know, it's like, are we not giving you enough, visibility out there as a company that you promote on your side, but we're not doing our part. So we want to know that too.
Yeah.
So that whole kind of, arrangement, if you will, relationship, I really want to call it a relationship because that's how I want to be with my artists.
Yeah.
I want to know everyone.
Yeah.
Not just like know them by name or by email or by face, but I want to know their story.
Yeah.
I want to be able to sit down with them and, even say after Gruv Gear, I'm still here.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? I want to be
Right.
able to call that person and say, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
How's everything? How's your career? How's everything going?
Yeah.
It's not just because we're connected through this brand.
Right. That's good. That's good. The last 2 years, I think you guys have been putting on an event
Groove Live.
Groove Live. Yeah.
Groove
How did that come
Live.
about? Because that's an awesome event. I mean, last year, I've gone the last 2 years. You've featured Israel Houghton, Asha Kartaya,
Yes.
JLS Experience, the kids.
Yes.
I forget
Justin
the name.
Lee.
Justin. My God.
And Jamie Lee.
Yes,
Yeah,
they're
the
amazing.
kids.
Yeah. Virgil Donati, too,
Virgil
which is
was there
insane.
last time.
Insane.
Yeah. It's been amazing. So that was actually this year was our 4th Groove Live.
Okay.
So we did the first year, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
2017. So that was kind of just our desire to bring together artists to scale, to a much bigger scale than NAMM, because they're already in town, right? And so we've been doing, the whole time we've been at NAMM, we've been doing these collaborations of artists that never played before. I would handpick people. I would literally say, Federico, you're going to play with Leonardo from a country you've never been to, you've never met together,
awesome.
and you're going to play, and they love it.
That's cool.
And people dig it. They come to see their favorite, but they discover a new favorite.
Yeah.
And these guys just blend well together. And, being able to do that in a much larger scale in Groove Live and brand it and have other companies support it, because we had over 20 brand sponsors.
That's right.
Through this whole thing, and being able to even serve a charity as well as part of it. So it's just been all around win for everyone.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's great.
Yeah. We grew up with Latin music, so one of our favorites, obviously, Cartaya.
Cartaya
his
was
show,
amazing.
Yeah, his show is amazing. But last year I got to catch Virgil Donati, and that was my first time seeing him live. And it's just a mind blower, man, because it's that fusion music I don't listen to it as often as I think I should. As a drummer, but he's an amazing artist as well, man.
Yes. So that's the other point too, was to make it as diverse as possible. We've got kids that are. I mean, the youngest one we've had is baby boy drummer LJ Wilson.
Oh yes.
So he's 6 now. That video that was shot in our booth, and I actually met the guy who shot it this year. He told me, he's like, that was my video. That was probably by week 1 of NAMM already hit 100 million.
Oh my god!
That little jam right there in our booth with Bubby Lewis and Justin Raines and Aaron Smith. That trio, we literally just I was talking to Justin, his dad, Justin Sr. It's we got these bass players and one drummer. It's it would be great if LJ could sit in. We could just set up his kit right here. And then the place was packed and people could not get through. And that one video, I was holding the same video literally a foot away. I was like this, right? So I've got the whole footage of that whole thing. But this one guy's video, he posted it, and it just caught fire ridiculous. All these celebrities are posting about it. Of course, he was in Ellen. And
That's right. He was in Ellen too.
Yeah.
So, that's insane. Yeah, I saw that video. I saw even Bubby, tearing up a little bit, man. Because that's to see such a passion at such a young age is incredible.
Yeah. He was just 4 when he did that video.
Yeah. That's incredible.
We met him a year before that. And he actually did a CD release here.
Oh, he did.
His album release was done here in our headquarters. The stage that used to be here. They're neighbors of ours. They're 5 minutes away from here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So
the Wilsons.
locals,
great family.
That's awesome.
Amazing, talented family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
what do you say to the naysayers?
That's a hard one because, being so personally involved in what you're doing, I mean, especially, I design the products.
Yeah.
So when somebody says something funny about it, it does kind of hurt.
Yeah.
They don't know that. They think we're just it's this corporate thing. It's they don't know people behind it are watching comments, but you're always going to have. So I think I've learned to accept there's going to be negative naysayers and trolls and so on online. So I just don't let it get to me too much.
Good. Yeah.
I try to address them to try to win them back, because sometimes I feel you just leave them alone. It just kind of gives them a license to do it again to other people. But I think if you respond to them, first of all, in kindness and love, hopefully that they would, because people's natural tendency is to respond back with the same type of approach, right? If you're responding in kindness, if you're responding kindness back, they won't cuss you out because you told him I love you. It just doesn't work that way. Humans don't work that way. So not to manipulate their reaction, but more to kind of evaluate what you just said there. It's you dig a little deeper. You take the next step, into it, rather than just being surface about it. Well,
Yeah, exactly. Of course.
You retaliate, then that's not going to do anything. It just lets them retaliate back. So I think, that also ties into what I'm saying. It's if you believe enough in what your goal is, you shouldn't that should not really phase you. You know, if
Yeah.
you believe in us, like, hey, you know, this is my role, this is my position, this is the road I've chosen to take as a brand, as a company, and as a leader of this company, then we are going to stick on this path.
Yeah.
And whatever you say doesn't really change that.
Yeah.
You may not like it, then it's not for everyone. Everyone knows that every brand is not for everyone. There's always going to be people that are like going to choose something else because that suits them better, and that's totally fine. You know, we of course would love to have as many customers as possible, but you can't possibly win everyone.
Right.
You know? So it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Navigating through this whole COVID situation, you know, are you releasing any new products or anything like that you have in mind, or stuff that you can tell us, like on the side?
No, sure. I can share it because we actually shared a lot of it during them.
Okay.
So the only thing is, my only not regret, but it's kind of like frustration, I guess, in a way, with COVID is it's taken us a little longer than we had anticipated to get some of these products out.
Yeah.
You know, you got the drum bags coming out, the V-Lock. Yeah.
Okay,
the V-Lock cases that go into a cart and you can transport in one trip.
Yeah.
So that was always like an idea of mine. How can we execute this?
Yeah.
Like that's going to be a mass production type of item, not just like, oh, here's a proof of concept.
Yeah.
And then leave it at that. No, I want to produce it.
Yeah.
I want to show to the world, be able to do this. From the time that we conceptualized, like 3 years ago, maybe, that I put it as a concept, maybe 4 years ago. I have it in my notebook, just kind of sketch it. Here's the, you know, the bass drum, the tom, the smaller tom, the smallest tom, all in one stack.
That's great.
Hardware in the back.
Yeah.
So the way I drew it back then, it's the way it is now.
Yeah.
It's just now a lot more developed. But that, we got some sax traps. We've never delved into sax. Now we got 2 major artists that are pretty much releasing their signature sax traps with us. We got some new stuff with Crane, with the cards for filmmakers, actually, more geared towards filmmakers. That's been a market that's been catching fire with Crane.
Nice.
They really love how that works for their system and doing location shoots and things like that. But the big thing this year was our decade series of products. So this bag right here.
Right. I see it.
A lot of the travel stuff. So the decade is like, it's really our kind of celebration line of products for being in business for 10 years.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
2010, 2020,
of course,
we're releasing decades, and people have been loving it. They see it in them. This bag, you know, we got a pedal board, we got a strap that already got released, we got fret wraps, and we got more stuff that I haven't mentioned yet. So basically, the goal is throughout this year we're releasing products under the decade edition line. Yeah. So what it is like it's this kind of more, you know, clean fabrics and materials, very refined, and with the bronze
that's cool.
touches and everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we're trying to just pull the stops on all these things.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Jay, as we're wrapping up, what's the advice you have for people that aspire to be like you? For example, as you know, a successful business owner, what advice would you share with them today? If they're just starting with their company, or you know, starting in their faith or their journey as a musician, what would you share with them?
Well, it's great because I actually just did literally to my brother-in-law last week because he was like aspiring to pursue business.
Okay.
So this is fresh in my mind.
Nice. Love it. Love it.
So going back to passion, you know, it's like, hey, do something that you're going to love, it's not going to feel like a job to you, you know, where you wake up every morning and you're going to love, like, excited about what you're about to do. Yeah. But I think there are some practical things in there too. It's like learning what we learned over the last 10 years. There are some things that we would have changed in terms of like we learned the hard way.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it was like, oh, you know, I mean, even just practical purpose size of products, you know, is it easier to ship or did we design it this way so that it's practical, you know, to be moved from place to place? And now we're global. Now we're having to think about storage, you know, all over the world and shipping. Yeah. But things like that. But, you know, if somebody's watching and wanting to start a business, it's like, I mean, those are the kind of pieces of advice that I throw at them. It's like, can your product be small enough so you can just kind of store it in a cabinet and ship it all over the world? And that would be great. Yeah. You know, but that might not be their formula. But at least they could hear that from somebody who has tried it. Yeah. Who's tried all sorts of size products that we make, right? From little fret wraps they could ship in a little bubble envelope to like these big capsule bags that have to travel and it's oversized and so on. But I think in terms of going back to the root of why they're doing it, I think they have to be passionate about it. And they have to believe in it. And of course, do your due diligence that it doesn't exist already, that you're doing something different in the market, that you're checking the trademarks and patents office.
Yeah.
Make sure that no one has tried to patent it, and then just waiting for somebody to do the business. And then, there are people who are doing that, unfortunately. But just kind of do your, just do your checklist and make sure your due diligence is solid.
Yeah. That's good.
And then pursue it for the heck out.
Yep.
Pursue the heck out of
100%.
it going forward.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jay, thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it today with Gruv Gear
you.
owner. I might as well call you a pastor too, because some of the stuff you're sharing, man, is so good. So episode 23 with Jay Baldemor at Gruv Gear. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back. Thank you for checking out episode number 23 with Jay. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I invite you to purchase some of their gear if you haven't already. You can go to their website. I'll put that down below in the description. You can check it out and support them, please. Episode 24 coming out next week. I'm going to say the same line I said last week. Be there or be square. Is that what I said last week? I don't even remember. All right, guys. Peace.